Hey guys, Dawson over at Pettit's Auto and Performance up in Minong, Wisconsin, coming back at you here. Gonna do a little bit different video. We've got kind of a cool build going on. This one's just kind of an in-house build we're doing here. So we're just gonna be kind of working on this machine on the weekends and just kind of our free time, kind of experiment with some of the new parts coming out for these pretty sweet, new cab machines. But anyways, this machine is a 2025 Defender Lonestar edition here. Super nice machine from the factory, but obviously you can't roll around in that stock. Are you kidding me? So we got all sorts of parts piled up here. Gonna kind of run through them quick, just show you what we're gonna do on this machine here. A lot of people are kind of hesitant to hop in one of these, afraid their buddies are gonna make fun of them for rolling in grandpa style, but just because you buy the machine doesn't mean you can't make it how you want it. So anyways, as you can see, we got all sorts of parts piled up here. We'll just get running through them here. So of course, biggest thing on this, you can see clearance isn't necessarily great, so we've got ourselves a Zebros 3-inch lift kit, Zebros forward offset front control arms, that's so we can fit some decent sized tires under there, don't have to worry about the cab clearance. And we've got some Zebros Exit Series reservoir shock absorbers with adjustable coilovers, so that'll be really nice. We can set a ride height. Even kind of complementing the lift kit, we can just set our ride height kind of exactly where we want it to sit. Plus, there's just a lot more adjustability. These machines actually do ride pretty good factory, but, there's a lot of room left on the table for improvements. So we are going to check them shocks out. We'll see how they do. I think we'll be pretty impressed with them. Of course, more Zebro stuff. We've just been pretty pumped with their products. We've got a front and rear bumper. Now these actually the Lonestars come with a decent front bumper, but it's just not real tasteful, kind of blah. Like I said, you got to be a bit different. So we've got a full width front bumper going on there. And of course, with the front and rear bumpers, got to have some lights, I'm surprised. 2025, these things are still coming with halogens in the headlight housings. So we are going to add a little bit of light to the trail here. We've got some Morimoto 4-bangers, kind of their light bar pods we're going to put together. We'll see. It should be pretty interesting, but they'll be sweet. We've had great luck on our vehicles, our trucks and whatnot with the 4-bangers, so we're going to, hit it up. Plus, we got some reverse lights we're going to throw in there too. Another kit here. This is a Corbin Customs Signature Series turn signal kit. That'll be nice to kind of use that factory trim, or you could call it a daytime running light they got up front there. Corbin kind of makes their own signature version of that in this kit, so that'll be pretty sweet. But yeah, blinkers definitely a must, especially with all the roads open around here. It's nice to be running down. Hand signals in a cab machine doesn't just work the greatest if your window's up, sitting comfortably. So turn signals will be nice. And of course, we've got some Whippet whips going on here too. And the nice thing about the Whippets as well is we can hook them up in conjunction with that turn signal kit. So, we're going to hook them up into the turn signals, brake light, so that'll be kind of nice. Just extra light, little added safety, plus that also looks pretty cool here. And of course, one of my favorite things, tires and wheels. The 30s, not going to cut it, especially with the lift, A-arms, we got to fit some rubber under here. So this is a pretty sweet setup. We get a nice set of bronze fuel wheels. And we've got some Nitto Trail Grappler tires. It's cool. They're kind of like their Nitto Trail Grappler truck tires. But it's a nice flat tread. Should ride real nice on the road. We actually have this set balanced too. So, being a steel corded radial, having them balanced, they should ride pretty nice. And it'll just handle a lot better, than these factory tires they put on these. These should ride and handle great, especially off-road too. This machine isn't nothing that you're gonna take and get buried in the mud. So well, you could I don't know if you'd want to. But anyways, yeah, so that'd be pretty sweet. These are a 33, 9.5, 15. I think we're yet to be determined on if 35s will fit. Something's telling me if they will fit, we might just be throwing some 35s on this. So stay in touch there. But we ordered on the safe side of things here for 33s. But like I said, I think we might end up trying to test fit some 35s on here, because why not, you know? But of course, when going up in tire size and doing all this suspension, and these things, you know, are kind of, I guess, a little doggy from the factory anyways. They got power, but I mean, come on, it's not a race machine by any means. But to help with that, we've got, from our friends over at Aftermarket Assassins, some tuning and some clutch work. Secondary here, Helix, just to get the, you know, engagement and shifting of that transmission where it needs to be with the larger tires, and some tuning to get a little bit more power out of it, and an exhaust. Now, the exhaust on this is not, we're going to see. I'm sure it's going to make a little bit of noise, but the exhaust on these is supposed to, you know, keep it tame. It's not an exhaust that's going to be, you see the machine screaming down the trail. This one is supposed to keep halfway tame, but flow a little bit better anyways. So we'll see. Obviously, once we get everything kind of thrown together here, we are going to do a few clips as we go along, putting parts on. We're not going to do a full video of install, but we are going to show you kind of as we go along, maybe some things that we run into, or just how the install itself is going. This machine's obviously pretty new. It's only got 500 miles on it. So install should be a breeze, but you know, those are always the famous last words. So just keep in touch. We'll be posting some pics, and then of course an after video showing you how everything and how it all works. So
if they need any of these built, get a hold of you.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the purpose of this for sure. You know, if you guys got machines like this, and it's not just Can-Am, we'll do this to anything. All your, you know, big manufacturers are coming up with cab style machines that obviously, you know, like I said, there's a lot of room for improvement from the factory. So if you have one of these machines and you want some accessories, or if you're seeing anything in this video that that you might want some information on, definitely get a hold of me. Like I said, Dawson over at Pettit's Auto here up in Minong. Give me a call and we can do some pricing for you for sure. You know, and everything here is just kind of what we're doing on this machine, but there is a lot of other accessories too that you know, you can definitely get your hands on. So if you got questions about any of this stuff, definitely get a hold of us and we will take care of you. Alrighty, I say we get to work. Alrighty guys, just got pretty much wrapped up for the day with everything that we wanted to accomplish, and man oh man, it turned out pretty sweet. Pretty much got all the exterior hardware finished up on this bad cat. Yeah, definitely turned out sweet. This thing does not look like a grandpa mobile anymore. It turned out pretty awesome. So I'll just kind of start off with what we started off. You know, for the day on, we started off doing that 3-inch lift, the Zebros lift up there, that exit series shocks. You can see now we got a reservoir, nice adjustable coil, where before you kind of only just got probably a 1/2 inch worth of preload settings. Now you know you got full adjustability for ride height, preload, and whatnot there. But of course, we've got the Zebros forward offset control arms, just so we can fit a pretty good tire underneath this thing. And the fit and finish, all this stuff is phenomenal. It did actually go together pretty smooth. Obviously, like we were saying before, it's a new machine, so that helps. But aside from the new factor, everything just went together great. You can see here, obviously, we got the Zebros front bumper on there, which again, fit and finish is phenomenal. And for the pricing too of this stuff, you just can't beat it. And something new we tried, haven't really ever played around with these much anymore. A lot of guys are just running standard light bars, but this is it's a Morimoto banger bar, which pretty much, this one we just did a four pod series, but they kind of all intertwine here. The nice thing about going with a banger bar setup, you got full adjustability on, you know, kind of the curvature you want. You can see we put a little curve into it here, but you can also kind of pick too what kind of lights you want up front. So you can swap lenses on maybe your outers or your inners from like yellows to clears, and you can also swap the type of lens, whether it be a combo, spot flood combo like we're running on the center here,
floods, which we're running on the outers, or just full-blown spots if you wanted to run in the centers. You can just kind of play around with the type of beam pattern you want for lights, but that looks sweet up there. Kind of gives it a cool off-road look to it anyways. Of course, tires and wheels are on there. Those are looking sweet. It's nice with this blacked out Lonestar on the 25s. You pretty much just blacked out. That's your option. So it's nice to get a little bit of color on there. You can see some red from the reservoirs on the shocks, but just even the bronze on the wheels there looks, you know, pretty killer. Just give it a little bit of color. Turned out sweet. Ended up going with the OEM Can-Am mirrors, which honestly, you know, it's probably just the way to go for mirrors on these. There's a couple other companies that make some cool ones, you know, like Sector 7 makes the LED option and stuff, but, you know, for putting the lights up front, the OEM mirrors were just a good option for this. So, but that's pretty much everything on the front for now. Like I said, pretty much all our exterior hardware, but shipper to the rear here, and pretty sweet. Turned out pretty sweet. Obviously, actually here on the center, we've got the Whip-It whips with the nice Whip-It cage clamp style clamps there. Actually pretty solid. Sometimes those cage clamps you're a little nervous about, but these ones are actually pretty rock solid. So, but in the rear setup here, of course, suspension wise, got the 3-inch brackets you can see on the top of that coil over there. But again, coil overs for adjustability. Didn't have to do anything with control arms back here just because there is plenty of cab clearance in the rear. But the reservoirs that come on these are pretty killer. And the nice thing too is you can adjust your dampening too with that knob up top, where, you know, before you just kind of with your house brand shocks, your dampening is what it is. But on these you have a little bit of adjustability there too. But it just looks pretty killer from the rear. These things are pretty basic stock, but almost makes it look kind of like a little race machine, or, you know, like the sportier machines they make. But bumper wise, turned out pretty sweet, you know, because these are kind of plain Jane in there. You have a bed and then you got nothing. So it's almost like a truck in a way. This is, again, the Zebros rear bumper. Turned out pretty sweet. And again, we did a flood series, Morimoto 4-bangers in the rear for kind of a reverse light. And yeah, just turned out sweet. Just gives it a whole kind of different look back here. Just a pretty sweet, simple little setup for sure, but it looks killer. Doesn't even look like the same machine from this morning. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what we got wrapped up today. As I like to call it, we got the easy stuff out of the way, because, you know, now that we got all these fancy lights and electronics on here, we have to do ourselves some wiring. So that's going to be for another day though. But as we get stuff wired up, turn signal kit, stuff like that, we'll just do another video kind of operating everything so you can see how it all works. But yeah, just one more last look for you. Just a pretty killer setup. If you got any questions again about any of this stuff, reach out and we can try to get you figured out. Alrighty guys, well, here we have it, finished product. Before we get too deep into the walk around here, I do just want to start out by thanking all of our suppliers and just kind of everybody that was able to help get this build put together. Big thanks first off to Hayward Power Sports, Damon over there, getting a killer deal and getting us into this unit. It's just awesome to be able to work with great local people like that. Getting us into the machine. Another big thanks to Wheel Pros, one of our big suppliers, for hooking us up on all the Zebro stuff, fuel wheels, Nitto tires. Really just awesome products, tons to choose from, but big thanks to them guys over there at Wheel Pros. Our buddies over at Aftermarket Assassins, Mike over there, getting us clutching, tuning, making these 35s, you know, drive like stock. So that's nice. Thanks to them over there, and Corbin Custom Works for being able to get us this turn signal kit. Pretty sweet setup. And a huge thanks to Whip-It Whips. Those guys have been great. These whips are phenomenal. Again, kind of a local company, which is just nice to have. So a big thanks to Whip-It over there for getting us these pretty killer whips. But we'll just kind of do a quick walk around here. Obviously, we ended up going ahead with the 35s. I know before I was telling you if we think they'd fit, we'll run them. Sure enough, got the 33s on there and said, we got plenty of room. So 35s it is. But we did have a lot of time into wiring. This stuff, you know, takes a while to get it all wrapped up. We didn't really end up changing a whole lot. Clutching's obviously in. Exhaust is in. We ran into a little speed bump there, but it wasn't a huge deal. We were able to get that taken care of pretty early, but tip was just kind of in the way for this rear bumper configuration we wanted, but you know, we weren't going to do nothing about that. We were keeping the bumper for sure, so we just ended up having to have the tip cut off and re-welded kind of in a different spot. It ends up clearing that resi stainless steel cable there, and then clears the bumper for the bed tipping. So that worked out sweet. But we can kind of run through some of the light operations here just so you can see everything we did. If you want to hop in, and we'll run some lights here. Yeah, actually, I'll come to back and let you fire it up. Then we'll run through lights just so you guys can hear the exhaust on it. Sounds pretty killer. There you see the whips coming on, look pretty sweet. Yeah, this exhaust is absolutely phenomenal. It's perfect because it's not too loud. You know, some of these machines, it's nice to have the cab. It's quiet, peaceful for your ride. You know, so you don't want to kill that with too loud of an exhaust, but this exhaust is perfect. It's got a good deep tone. You do gain some flow out of that. It is a bigger diameter. Yeah, it's just got a good tone. Nothing crazy. Cruising decibels will be nice. Shouldn't have much drone. Just a pretty good setup there. Sounds phenomenal. So, whips there looking stellar. All right, we're on the front, and maybe you want to do your left turn signal first. Alrighty, and as you can see, that Corbin Customs Signature Series kit looking great. Of course, got the whips tied in the blinkers too, because these factory tails are kind of tough to see in the daylight. So, having that whip up there blinking is nice to have. Pretty sweet setup. Alrighty, want to kick our... Oh, we got hazards. And the nice thing with these 3-foot whips, perfect size, just up over the cab too. So you actually gain a little bit of front look out of it too, which is nice. I'm gonna kick that front light bar on. And there we have it. The Morimoto Banger Bar. This thing is gonna be ridiculously bright. That ended up turning out sweet. So pretty pumped to get some nighttime trail riding action. Actually, check that out. Again, we got the combos up front, floods pointing off to the edges, and then we'll hit our rear lights. And there we go. We got some backups here built into that Z-Bros bumper. Pretty sweet. Again, Morimoto's there, nice and bright. That'll just be great for nighttime cruising. Again, we'll just get you a couple good shots there. Yeah, man, this thing just looks like an absolute unit coming down the trail. The clearance on this thing too is just insane. And then just one more quick thing we'll show you we ended up doing, because the crazy part is this JL audio roof from the factory does not, for as much as they get for these, does not come with any dome lights. You got no interior lights. So just to make things quick, and there are other options, but we ended up having some spare rock lights laying around. So we just put a white rock light, and it's actually wicked bright on the inside. So that worked out perfect there. Got them switches mounted up top too. We do have the rock lights colored, the RGB rock lights under there, but you know, of course, daytime you aren't going to see too much of those. But yeah, you guys got any questions at all on this build, or you got your own machine that you want to get fancy with or change her up, you know, it's tough seeing all these machines on the trail and just being the same as everybody else. So if you got some ideas you want to play with, got a machine, you lights, audio, suspension, engine, clutching, I mean really anything you guys want to play with, reach out and we will throw something together for you. Again, this is 25 Defender, just turned out great, but we play with them all. So give us a jingle. Again, I'm Dawson over at Pettit's Auto up in Minong. Come stop in or give me a jingle and we can get you taken care of. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in.